Hey everybody, it's Kneecap here, and in this video I will be talking about the new Heart of Azeroth system. So our necks are getting changed over, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on that. Um, and, a little bit of specifics, but not too much because a lot of the stuff's going to change, and then, all the information will be, outdated anyways. So, basically, we're having a complete remake of how our necks work. The issue being that every patch we would just be having to raise our level on our necks to ridiculous amounts to unlock the very same traits we were using before. So in many cases, you'd be keeping on a piece of low item level armor for the traits instead of equipping the new piece you got until you could have all the traits on that new piece of armor, which is a really stupid system. Now that was the main problem with Azerite armor, in my opinion. Like, people had a lot of problems with Azerite armor, but for me, that was the main problem, was the double, like, just, well, in this case it was double, but it would be triple, quadruple unlocking of traits as the game went on, as patches came out. We'd be continually unlocking the new traits, and yeah, they could add more traits like they did, but then you would just have too many traits, and you'd have to only target one specific piece of armor and not have like any other ones that are even viable if you had like the best trait and it was only on one piece of armor. So that would be rough. You mean you kind of already have that a little bit with like Treacherous Covenant, but at least there's more than one piece with it usually for DPS and stuff. But so for me that was the biggest flaw. So they're gonna get rid of that. So you'll still kind of have those things, but they'll just be like permanently unlocked, basically. So that way you can continually have your traits. Instead, now what the Heart of Azeroth is going to do is it's going to give you some additional power through these essences. So this is like a glyph type system. People keep calling it that. It's very, it's very appropriate, I suppose, to call it that. And you're basically, or like a socket in, whatever. You're basically going to socket in essences that you acquire into your necklace. Which will then give you passive or major abilities that you can actually use. And those are acquired through a variety of ways. So there is actually a chart. Now this is something I'm going to get into because it's a little bit too confusing, I think, for casuals. But yeah, I guess maybe you'll just randomly stumble into them. I don't know. However, so you acquire these essences through a variety of ways. So think back to how you unlocked appearances on your Legion artifact weapon, right? So for appearances, you would have to do, for like one of them, you'd have to like do something for raid battlegrounds. For another one, you'd have to do a bunch of questing. For another one, you had to, do X, Y, Z. There's all these things that unlock your appearances. Well, it's very similar, except for there's a lot more essences. It's very similar for unlocking these. So you have there's going to be a train going by. If you can hear it, my apologies. So you're going you're going to do like a random battleground, right? That's like the lowest form of PvP, and then you can unlock like the lowest level of an essence. So all the essences are the same. They get stronger as they upgrade. So like green, blue, epic, legendary, basically. So random battleground would give you like a green one, like an arena win. I'm making these up. There is an actual chart you can look at. An arena win of like twos or something would give you a blue one. A rated battleground win with a rating of something would give you, an epic one, and then like being in the top tier of the arena would give you like a legendary one. That's like or rated battleground, whatever. That's just an example. That's not necessarily the case. The same thing goes with like other things as well. So like dungeons. So completing a random dungeon finder dungeon, green. Completing a regular mythic, blue. Completing a medium mythic plus, epic. Complete a plus 10, plus 15, whatever you would put it at, legendary. That's an example. Another example is something like this. So reputation. So friendly, honored, revered, exalted, with a new reputation. That is actually one of the criteria there. So you'll be unlocking these essences in different ways. So I guess if you're a casual player, you're not min maxing, but I know a lot of casual players who like to pretend they are. And I say that not condescendingly. Like, I have close friends who do that, who like are like, "What? This is the best thing for me," and I'm like, "You don't do anything that you need the best thing for," and maybe they don't like that logic of mine, uh, but I guess like yeah, if you're just a casual, there's the train. If you're just a casual, you'll just acquire the greens and the blues fairly easily. And I guess if you want the epic legendary, you'll have to look up how to get it, unless it's like the reputation one, where if you're just doing the daily stuff at the new places, getting the reputation, then you will eventually get to that legendary status one. So so that's how you kind of acquire them, which I think that's fine. I do think it's going to be a little bit too confusing for some people who either aren't willing to look up a chart or whatever. And you know what? Do I still have it open? I don't have the chart open still. So I was going to go over the chart. It's really long anyways. I don't want to make this like a like an hour long video. It's a lot of information on a chart. You can find that all over the internet really. If you just look for anything, you can go to Wowhead. It's a big WoW site if you don't know, or you can just type in like new Heart of Azeroth system and go wherever. I don't know if Icy Veins or anything has anything on it. MMO Champion probably has something on it. The Reddit probably has something on it possibly. But there's all kinds of places you can go and probably find a chart or a similar thing explaining all of them to you in great detail. So I think there's you still unlock the essences, like the slots, the glyph slots if you want to call them that, by leveling up your Heart of Azeroth. So you still need to grind AP. They wanted to keep that system in place. It's the same thing as Legion. You were still, even with all the fixes, at the end of the day, we're still grinding AP. Hopefully they make it a little bit easier to acquire. It just feels so bad when it takes you like a week of doing stuff to maybe get one level on your neck. It's like, oh, that's rough, man. So, and obviously there's people that play a lot more and a lot more hardcore that can do more than that, but it just feels rough. And so hopefully they increase the at rate at which you get it, but you still need to level that up to unlock the slots. And then when you get the essences, they'll be on the right side, and you can have the green, the blue, the epic, legendary, whatever, and then you can socket those in, and you're gonna socket in whatever you want to use for that fight. For that fight, for what you're doing that day. Like if you're doing PvP, you'd want more of a PvP essence in. If you're doing raiding, you'd want more raiding essence in. If you want healing, you would want one that is better for healing, right? And you can unlock and there are separate healing ones, tanking ones. So you would obviously unlock those, and so you would change them out when you change specs or whatever. Unless and you might even be able to have like a tank page, a healing page. So I'm a paladin, so I can do all three. So I might have a tank page, a healing page, and a DPS page. I'm not sure on that, but that's possible that you might have that, and you don't even have to trade them out in that case. But yeah, you'll trade them out as you go, or for whatever ones you want. I'm not sure exactly how many slots there are. Again, that's a very easy picture to bring up if you want to. If you want to find it for the new neck. I just can't quite visualize it in my head right now. And then, of course, you have the big active ones. Those actually give you new abilities. That's similar to how Legion artifacts work. So I'm running along on this already, but I think it's a good change. Most people are pretty excited about it because of just the fact of not you still have to grind the stuff out, but it's gonna feel a little bit better when you unlock something. Like you're working towards something that you didn't already have, basically. So, oh man, I really want to unlock this next trait that I had back in old year, So it'll feel a little bit better because you're working towards a new goal, and then in the next tier they can kind of do the same thing they did with Legion artifacts and just give you like a new tier of stuff with new goals to reach. And I think people just generally like that more. So it's overall a good change. We'll see how it works out. Hopefully people don't get too confused on how to acquire things, or maybe they put like a little journal in the game. I'll probably actually tweet that or get on the forums about that. Maybe put like a little journal in how to acquire the things, or like on the glyphs. On the glyph page, let's call it a glyph page. If you maybe the ones that you don't have are there, you can like see them, you just can't use them. And when you scroll over, it tells you how to unlock them or obtain them. That would be good as well. And I'm sure they'll do something like that, but hopefully, because that's the part I see being confusing, especially to casual players. So yeah, overall it's great. My thoughts on it are good. They're addressing the major problem that I saw with Azeroth armor. even though I was not as negative as others about it. And yeah, I'm pretty happy about it. So please subscribe to the channel. That helps me out a lot. And everybody have a good one.